Is it possible to orgasm on command via hypnosis? Yes, and lots more is possible too. Orgasm on command is one of the holy grails that people are looking for when they start getting into erotic hypnosis. Can I come just from hearing a voice? And it is possible. Let me explain what makes it possible and what makes it difficult. So you see these stage hypnotists, and there's very often one where a bunch of ladies especially will be apparently orgasming on stage just from the words of a hypnotist. How does this work? Well, first of all, you got to realize out of the several hundred to several thousand people in the audience, these were the people that were most into imagining. These were the people that were most into accepting and playing with the ideas of the hypnotist, and not the people who were not. So even a 1% success rate in a group like that is an amazing success. Or 1% of the people will have an amazing experience, and that looks amazing on film, but you're not watching the rest of the people having little to no experience at all. This isn't to say that only 1% of people can do it. A much higher percent of people can do it. The question is how long it will take them to get to that point. And we'll look at what factors control that now. The first question is, how naturally orgasmic are you? When you're engaged in sexual experience, do you orgasm easily and a lot, or is it quite a process, or difficult, or impossible? Now, a lot of people have had orgasms that surpass all of their previous orgasms using hypnosis, and these are people who probably have not had the oral stimulation, and they're very auditory-based people. These are going to be the people who are interested in hypnosis anyway. And during sex, maybe no one's ever really spoken to them or given them permission to go through imagination. But otherwise, if you're rather orgasmic, you're going to find it probably fairly easy to experience orgasm through hypnosis if the following other criteria are also fulfilled. And number 2 is rapport. Rapport means how connected are you? How much do you trust the hypnotist? Now, this is different depending on whether you're doing a live session or whether you're listening to a recording. Maybe you find it really easy to trust when you're on the phone or live with someone and they're telling you a sexy story to get into it. Phone sex is a type of orgasmic hypnosis as well. It's storytelling is the same thing happening. Whether you're going to imagine it and go into it, or remain on the outside is your choice, and everyone will have different preferences about this. But do you have that rapport and trust with the hypnotist, or do you not have it? Because if you don't, if you've got this cautious mindset holding back, it will be very difficult to experience orgasm through hypnosis. Number 3, are you willing to follow, and can you follow the suggestions of the hypnotist? So a lot of people come, or no pun intended, some people come to a hypnotist and say, well, can you make me do this? And the answer is no. No hypnotist can make you do anything. Everything that you do is your choice and your choice only. So if you're waiting for someone to make you do something, you're going to be sorely disappointed. That's not the job of the hypnotist. The job of the hypnotist is to lead you, and your job is to follow. And if you're waiting for someone to take control of your mind, it's not going to happen. Just like if a 5-year-old doesn't want to eat his peas, he's not going to eat his peas, and there's nothing you can do about it. For some people, it's kind of a fun fantasy, you know, being taken over against their will and made to orgasm. Wahahaha. Yeah, but that's just not going to happen. If you're not willing to follow the suggestions as they're given, you're going to find it difficult to impossible to orgasm via hypnosis. The last thing that is also a factor is your imagination logic balance. Are you more of a logical person, or do you have a stronger imagination? Or you can be very logical and still have imagination. That's not a problem. It's just you get stuck in your logic, or are you able to still imagine as children can? if you're open to imagining, and you can imagine, for example, if I describe now, picture yourself holding a lemon and cutting that lemon and opening that lemon and then tasting that lemon, licking that lemon, putting the juice on your tongue. Can you experience that? Or is it just kind of an empty series of words to you? Or if I say, now listen to a siren going by, there's a police car coming by, and can you hear its siren, or a siren from a fire truck? Can you imagine that? Can you put yourself in that experience? And that's why we tried now taste, we tried sound, and then I say imagine looking at a beautiful sunrise, watching the sunrise. There's various different senses that can be triggered through hypnosis, and the question is, which one is strongest for you? Now, it's going to be difficult for a hypnotist to trigger exactly the right combination that fits for you. Some people are very visual, some people are kinesthetic, some people are auditory, and some smellatory or tastatory. Why not? And a generic recording is not going to be able to hit every single one of these senses in depth, which is why it's good to either get personal work with a hypnotist or to request recordings that use exactly the language that you would like. And that language that's best used is the language of your fantasies, whatever that is, which means whatever you masturbate to, whatever your fetishes are, whatever the sexiest stories are that you like to read, or the visual stimulation you like, to get to know your own body and your own responses, and then say, well, what I'd really like is this, this, and this. And that'll allow, or what I enjoy, what kinds of stimulus, what kind of stories, what kind of visuals, etc. This will allow your hypnotist to move into those words when they're guiding you along the journey, when they're storytelling with you, to let you have the greatest experience. So it's not just a question of can you imagine, but which senses can you imagine, and which ones are strongest for you, which ones give you the greatest emotional response. Not only with sexuality, probably, by the way, but which ones give you the greatest emotional response, period. Do you like art, or do you like music, or soft clothes, or what is it that really triggers you? So the process of hypnosis is also a process of getting to know yourself. I'll put a link below here to a hypnosis orgasm session that you can try out. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them or put them below as well. Like, subscribe, or comment. I hope this was interesting.